Hello, everyone. This is my podcast for the week, probably. I might do one more, but I don't know. Uh, let's just get right into it. All right. So, first things first, let's talk about the Eagles. So, the Eagles beat the Texans. I did not predict this. I didn't think they could do it. I thought them beating the Rams was a fluke, but Nick Foles and how the team plays around Nick Foles is special. So I want to talk about that. And other people might be praising Nick Foles right now and saying he's great. Don't get me wrong, Nick Foles is great and he's much better than people expected. But is he Carson Wentz? No, Carson Wentz is better. I know Carson Wentz was hurt all this year, but even then he's a better quarterback. And I'm going to go off on the Eagles team for a second right now. If you have Carson Wentz, why does that give you a right to play worse and think that you don't have to do as much? No, you should bring the same mindset you brought to the Super Bowl in every game you had with Nick Foles, and every game you thought you were the underdog, to every game. Just because you have Nick Foles does not mean that, well, it does mean actually, that you need to bring your A game. But when you have Carson Wentz, you don't bring your A game. The same team does not play the same around Wentz as it does Foles. Foles brings something out of them. And I don't think that's so much as Foles being a better leader, because I think Foles is quiet-spoken, and he's not the leader of that team. Wentz actually can be a leader. The team, when Wentz is in the lineup, thinks, oh, we have a better quarterback, so we don't have to do as much. No, BS. You have to do the same amount. Do not play worse. Do not think that you have to do less. Do not think that Wentz is going to carry you to the promised land. Play your game. Do not say, oh, we have Foles. He's a worse quarterback. We need to lift him up. No, he's still a good quarterback. You should play like you do with Foles every single game. You're weak, and you need to stop doing it, Eagles. All right, moving on. Lamar Jackson. And I've been a big Lamar Jackson fan for a couple years now. I was saying that if the Jaguars drafted Lamar Jackson, I think they would have gone to the Super Bowl and maybe have won it. That's the difference for the Jaguars for me. I think the Blake Bortles and Cody Kessler they're putting defense in bad position, and they're still a top 10 defense, higher than top 10 actually. And but the thing that Lamar Jackson does is that he gives you another weapon. He is that other weapon. The Ravens have terrible weapons for him to throw the ball to. That's why he's throwing so bad. It's also because he needs to develop his passing a little more, but he can throw the ball, but not. He needs to develop it a little more, yes. But he can flat out run the ball. He makes great decisions, and that throw to Gus Edwards was great. He lifts this team up, and behind a great defense that John Harbaugh is coaching so well, and this team is scary because of Lamar Jackson and that defense. With Flacco, it didn't work. Flacco didn't give them that other element. Flacco doesn't throw the ball that much better, and Flacco makes worse decisions. Lamar Jackson is the reason why the Ravens are going to win the division and maybe make some noise in the playoffs. All right, moving on. Now, this is kind of a rant episode. I'm gonna go on a few. I went on a couple rants already, and there are gonna be a few more. Now, I'm saying that because I'm gonna talk about LeBron quoting 21 Savage. And before I say anything, I want to say I'm not mad at LeBron. I didn't even need LeBron to apologize. I didn't need 21 to apologize. I just want people to use this situation, this incident, to raise awareness of this very hurtful stereotype. And I don't think enough people know the history of this stereotype, so I'm going to go over it real quick. So, this stereotype has been used for centuries. Jews weren't allowed to have many jobs. So they could either be homeless, or they could be tax collectors or middlemen, because in the Bible it says you can't charge interest. So Jews, for a while, were the middlemen between kings and giving out loans so they could charge interest. That led to Jews having a stereotype of only being in money professions, only caring about money, and led to Jews being blamed for economic downfall or being blamed for taxes. Like, who wants to be a tax collector? That's not a very glorifying job, but that's the job they had to do because they were persecuted and weren't allowed to have other jobs. And then in the 1930s and 40s, Hitler used the Great Depression to blame it on the Jews because the Jews had all the money and could control it and were hoarding it for themselves. Like, this stereotype has been around a long time, and by continuing and using it, you're continually perpetrating the stereotype. You continually allow this perception of Jews being like the greedy money people who just want to steal your money and screw you over. That's what this stereotype is. Like, I don't care. Like, I know they meant it as a compliment, but it's like saying that all black men are good at sports. It may be a compliment, but it's a stereotype that's hurtful and not always true and means other things. It's like, it just makes me angry how many people don't understand that. It's not about whether it can mean something good. It's about whether it continues something that means something bad. And I think we need to use this incident not to get mad at people for using it, but to educate people why it's a hurtful stereotype and why it needs to end. All right. I could talk a lot more about that. If you want me to, please comment below or text me or whatever. But let's move on. Let's get into the Lakers beating the Warriors last night. Let's go. Okay. So the Lakers beat the Warriors, and they were winning by 14 when LeBron got hurt and left the game. And then the Warriors cut it to 2. Then the Lakers ended up winning by 26. And let me tell you why. It's a lot of things, but I'm going to give the game ball to 2 players. First, Lonzo Ball. If you watched the game, you saw Lonzo shadowing Curry, fighting through screens, not really paying that much attention to everyone else, but he mainly paid attention to Curry. Curry ran around the court trying to get open, and Lonzo was always in his grill. Curry shot terribly. He shot under 30% from 3 and just looked rattled the entire night. And people will say, oh, but he missed open shots and the Warriors missed open shots. No. Great defense doesn't allow the opponent to get in rhythm. And then if you're not in rhythm, that allows for missed open shots. Then why in the next game ball goes to Rondo, because once LeBron went out, Rondo was the orchestrator of the offense, got everyone going, got everyone involved, and is just a brilliant mind and brilliant motivator. And he can orchestrate an offense almost unlike anyone else in the league today. Another thing that I want to say about this game is Luke Walton, brilliant game plan. Like, let's get off Draymond Green, leave him, and let's double Clay, let's double KD, let's double Curry, and the players executed it to perfection. They had the main defender on the person, and then the off-ball defender kind of cover the lane but then when their defender moved, they switched off and another guy came. So that way, no one was ever open, but there was also a double team going on. It was brilliant, and if I had the tools to do something like detail, I would highlight different plays and show you how they did it. But it was absolutely phenomenal, the game plan and the coaching. And I don't want people to say, oh, it's the fluke game, and the Warriors played down the competition. Warriors started playing down the competition, but then they stopped playing down to the competition in the third quarter, and then they got punched in the mouth with defense and passing. The NBA can do all they want to make threes more popular and make shooting more popular, but the two things that will always win basketball games are defense and passing. Always will win the game. If you are the better defensive team and the better passing team, you will most likely win the game. And that's what the Lakers did. They were more disciplined. They played great defense, but that was one of the best defensive efforts I've seen all year. All year. That was phenomenal. And Lonzo Ball deserves to be first team all defense. And Ingram played great defense on KD. Just sometimes KD hits shots you can't do, but then he improved. And then we brought the double teams even more, and they just looked rattled from the jump. Even when they got on that run, we brought that run was with most of the run was with Lonzo and Ingram out of the game. We bring Lonzo, Ingram, and Rondo back into the game. Boom. The game was never close again. All right. Week 17 predictions. Let's go. These are the last of the regular season, so let's make it count. Right now, I am 103-74. I started in week 3, so I'd say that's pretty good. Pretty good. Anyway, Dolphins at Bills. Why does anyone care about this game? Anyway, the Bills are going to win this. They're at home. The Bills are going to win this. They're at home. They have a better defense. I like Josh Allen. He gets a lot of hate, but I think he could be good. He has a lot of potential. Falcons at Buccaneers. I think the Falcons are going to win this. Deion Jones is back playing well. They're running the ball well. Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley are great receiving options. The defense is improving with Deion Jones, and the Buccaneers have no defense, and their offense is struggling with Jameis. I do not like Jameis. Cowboys at Giants. I think the Cowboys might rest some people. They could also not. Giants, this game really means nothing. They already clinched. But I still think if the Cowboys play their starters, they will win. If they don't, Giants will win. But I think I'm going to go with the Cowboys, make a definitive answer. They're just a much better team. The Giants are a mess. Their quarterback just can't do anything. And it's questionable if Odo is a little hurt still. Panthers at Saints. No Cam. There's even if the Saints they locked up number 1 seed. Even if the Saints sit Drew Brees, I still think they win. They're just a much better team around him, and the Panthers are Cam, McCaffrey, and that's their entire offense. Jets at Patriots. Patriots are at home. They're the only team that hasn't lost at home all year. I expect that to continue. I think they close out this game, and I think Tom Brady makes a statement. Says, we're in playoff mode. Stop doubting us. I'm playing for a few more years. And I don't know if I was so wrong about Gronk last week. Gronk had 0 catches, 0 yards. He could go off this week, but Jamal Adams, I don't think will let him. He doesn't look the same. But I think Sonny Michel has a big day. I think we try to run all over them, but I think Brady's efficient. Doesn't have a lot of stats because I think we're going to run mostly. Jaguars at Texans. Texans win this game. They're the best team in AFC South, as I've been saying all year, even before the year. Deshaun Watson is special. J.J. Watt and Jalen Clowney, I think, bounce back after letting Nick Foles torch them. And I think they win this game. Lions at Packers. I'm going to take the Packers here because they're at home. And Aaron Rodgers versus a hurt and struggling Matt Stafford and a struggling Lions team. I do think Lions will improve in the offseason and they'll be a different team next year, though. Eagles at Redskins. Now, this is an interesting game. Very interesting game. A lot of playoff implications here. But I think the Eagles win this and stay in their playoff hunt. I'd like to see them in the playoffs. It all depends on the Vikings, though. But I'd like to see them in the playoffs. And I think they'll win. Nick Foles is playing great. As I said earlier, the team plays great around him. The Redskins are a mess. They released DJ Swearinger, and he was one of their best players. And I don't think they'll win. Chargers at Broncos, and I mean, it's in Mile High. Anything can happen here. Chargers could come in, they could play their ball and try and win this division, but I'm going to go with the upset and pick the Broncos here. It's in Mile High. I think they're going to bounce back after that embarrassing loss to the Raiders. Even without Philip Lindsay, I think they can win this game based off their defense. I think Von Miller and Chubb just terrorize Rivers. Raiders at Chiefs. I mean, I don't trust the Raiders to win it all. I hope they win, but Mahomes has the MVP locked up, and I don't see them losing. Bears at Vikings. Bears already have the division locked up. So this matters more for the Vikings. The Vikings are at home, and I think they win this game. Browns at Ravens. This is a really good game. Baker could spoil the Ravens season, but I don't think so. Ravens are at home. Their defense is playing lights out. Lamar Jackson makes great decisions. Great game, but I'm picking the Ravens. 49ers at Rams. Rams not close. Bengals at Steelers. Steelers probably win this game because no Dalton, no Boyd, no AJ, no win. Cardinals at Seahawks. This game doesn't really matter, but I think the Seahawks still win. Cardinals could win this just because it doesn't really matter for the Seahawks that much. But if the Vikings win, it matters a little bit. Colts at Titans. This game, whoever wins gets in. I know it's in Tennessee. This game will be great and could go either way. But I'm going to pick the Colts just because they've been playing better. Their defense is worse than the Titans, but not by much. And their offense is far better. Andrew Luck is far better than Mariota, who might not even play. The only way the Titans win this is if they commit to the run and the Colts somehow forget how to stop the run, even though they've been able to stop the run against tough running backs in recent weeks. Anyway, that's my episode. And if you're wondering the whole episode why my hair was like this, I'm in Mammoth Lakes, California. And if you haven't been here, it's one of my favorite places in the world. It's incredible. I love skiing, and this is from my ski mask. Hat hair, I guess. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please subscribe or like, or don't. Thank you. Bye.